Good evening, everyone. I'm Leah Cooper with your JCN News for this Friday, August 23rd. Things are progressing well for Project Sand Dollar in Exuma, a pilot program for Central Bank's upcoming blockchain-based digital currency. This coming from Central Bank Governor John Roll.
So we're making good progress looking at the Exuma infrastructure, trying to understand the Exuma infrastructure. We've gotten beyond the stage in terms of drawing up all of the contractual arrangements with the technology provider, and we're beginning to focus a lot now on the policy issues around operating a digital currency, looking at the areas where the Bahamas has to be thinking before the middle of 2020 in terms of having new regulations and laws in place.
One of those, he says, is going to be some amendments to the Central Bank of the Bahamas Act that creates the proper legal framework for digital currency.
That work is very advanced, and we expect that we'll be able to provide a recommended framework to the government fairly soon.
Mr. Roll adds that Project Sand Dollar will cover the entire population of Exuma at varying levels. It's set to launch at the end of this year, and he says the central bank expects the pilot to mature during 2020.
So we don't expect an Exuma pilot to be exclusively focused on Exuma, say, for more than a year. By the end of the first year, we should begin to progress beyond Exuma.
Bahamas Public Service Union yesterday staged a show of solidarity over in Grand Bahama at the office of the Prime Minister, Harold de Gregory building. Union leaders and members, however, were prevented from walking the road leading to the entrance of the building by the Royal Bahamas Police Force. The group then relocated over to the entrance of the Rand Memorial Hospital. Here's Vice President of the Northern Bahamas Trade Union Congress.
There are many workers in this country who are catching eternal hell financially. There is a lot of workers who are morally depressed. You have civil servants as well as the police, I believe, the doctors, the nurses, all the public servants, and some of those persons are here who need a little bit of rejuvenation, who need a little bit of camaraderie, need a little bit of friendship. Even the police will be getting their Yesterday, if you would have listened to the doctors during their demonstration, they encourage the members of these unions and the workers of this country to exercise during this period. And so we are following the doctors' instructions to move about and to relieve the stress. We want to keep our people calm. We are not I'm looking for our members to suffer with anxiety and all of these things. And so we are looking out for everyone. And so this is just freedom of movement.
Unionist Rudolph Stubbs also chimed in.
One of the saddest aspects is the government of the Bahamas is the biggest employer. The biggest employer. Yet still the standards, the protocols that they put in place, they're trying to erode what's around a fourth core of legislative for workers in this country. It is so sad and so ironic that we have to gather and gather and gather and fight just to survive in our own country. So some people say it's the people's time, and now I'm saying it's the workers' time.
Yesterday, hundreds of public service workers here in the capital huddled in the rain at the front entrance of the Cabinet office, staging a sick-out with one intention, a meeting with the Prime Minister. This after some 200 members at the Princess Margaret Hospital walked off the job this past Wednesday. All of this stems from a discussion from the Prime Minister about receiving funding to assist workers with back-to-school expenses. Mr. Ferguson yesterday shared with us that there was an agreement with the Prime Minister to pay public servants and PMH employees some $1,200, but there was a misunderstanding, and the Prime Minister made an offer to distribute the funds in $600 increments. Runway works at the Lynden Pinling International Airport are expected to be finished by Thanksgiving holiday. Aviation Minister Dionisio D'Aguilar is aiming to get the runway done in some time to prepare for the busy holidays. Although optimistic, the minister is realistic of problems that could affect the timeline.
But obviously, as Thanksgiving approaches, we start to get a little bit nervous because obviously the load will increase, and we would like the runway operational by then. We've been assured that it will be, but weather delays, equipment failures, the usual stuff that could possibly bring about a delay comes into play, but we're optimistic right now.
The airport is currently operating on a single runway, but D'Aguilar assures the airport has a plan in place in case of any accidents.
Have in place the necessary infrastructure and equipment to ensure that should an incident happen on the runway, we can clear it and get it back in operation as quickly as possible. As you would have seen, I believe it was last week, there was an incident, and within 90 minutes the plane was removed and the airport was back in operation.
You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.